You threaten my people with slavery and death. Oh, I've chosen my words carefully, Persian.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and how are you doing after Christmas Day? Well, I couldn't wait to get back in front of the camera and make a video about Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, because did you see the Odyssey trailer 3 days ago? I didn't. I watched it last night and I was very unimpressed compared to all the ridiculous thumbnails where people are going, oh my god, Christopher Nolan, ooh, it's the usual clickbait garbage from the usual suspects who obviously will lap this up because it's Universal Pictures, Christopher Nolan giving the big FU to Warner Brothers. And honestly, when I think about Christopher Nolan, I think about Memento, the only two good Batman films, which is Begins and The Dark Knight, and everything else in between. The Prestige, I think, might be my all-time favorite Nolan movie.
This is Sparta!
YouTube's newest hero is here to save the day. His name, Kung Fu Hot Dog.
And of course, you blathering buffoons, The Odyssey gets released in July of 2026. Two of the stars, Jon Bernthal and Tom Holland, who plays Telemachus, will also be appearing again in the same month towards the tail end in Spider-Man, a brand new gay, because that's where Tom Holland's Peter Parker comes out to the world.
Are you serious?
Didn't he already do that before? But you know what I'm doing, and I'm only joshing with you fellow Spidey fans, but honestly, it had to be said. So I'm wondering if the double dose of hunkiness and beefcakiness from Mr. Bernthal and Mr. Holland will be too much for people to bear, but that's another discussion for another day. Honestly, when I started watching this, I was like, this looks like a Mexican soap opera and a really high resolution that you see, because in 4K, that's not doing this film any favors, or at least even this trailer. Everything is very smooth. It's almost like the video game Rome, which if you remember back in the day, is absolutely a badass game. It really is. Now, I'm not sure why he's been bowed to like this. I have no idea. By the way, I don't call myself an historian, but I have taken up in the last few days or so a very avid and keen interest in Greek, Roman and Norse mythologies. I think they're really worth looking at. So if you've got any suggestions about what videos or documentaries or books I should pick up, let me know in the comments below. So we have this scene here, then I think that's Matt Damon in the middle with some troops or some fellow soldiers. I don't know what's happening here. I mean, it's a very vague trailer. This 6-minute prologue that you would have seen in the cinema if you're watching a 70mm presentation of, I think it was Sinners, and obviously currently Avatar Fire and Ass. Yeah, you'll get to see this. So if you go to the IMAX and pay for a film that you don't want to watch, which is Avatar 3, you'll get to see 6 minutes of this film at the beginning. So again, everybody talks about this particular shot here. I think this is where they're setting up the sneaking in of the horse of Troy. Did you see what I mean? When you go through this trailer, even when I saw the early snippet with Jon Bernthal talking to Tom Holland's Telemachus, which is actually quite a cool name anyway, for reasons I'll get into in a short while. Yeah, there's a bit, it's just Matt Damon, and if you don't know who the actress is here, it's Anne Hathaway as Penelope, Odysseus' wife, which makes sense. Not bad casting, but not inspired casting either. In fact, I would say a lot of this film at the moment, the casting isn't very inspired. I mean, Matt Damon is fine, but there is a guy that I watch, and I'm going to reference some of his points in a minute, but again, paraphrasing things or saying things that I already knew a long time ago. But Metatron, if you don't watch that guy's History Channel, he's doing a lot more reaction content at the moment, but he's really, really good, and he's obviously very well versed and qualified in breaking down historical truths from centuries gone by, right? Bing! Here I am, ladies and gentlemen, from this Reddit post which has been doing the business 2.5 months ago. And by the way, I should preface this that this guy called Caciquis Demetrios, Dimitri, thinking of Robbie Coltrane from GoldenEye, who has very bad knees and aches when it's the winter time. This guy has a page on Facebook called Hellenic Armours. Is really fantastic. Go there and follow him. He's got nearly 30,000 subscribers. Now, he says here, 2.5 months ago, I received an email from one of the main collaborators, a very well-known professional Hollywood costume designer of Christopher Nolan's, the producer of the new American film, as it was codenamed Ulysses. The proposal for a corporation had to do with the armor of the film's protagonists, as we are referring to the Macedonian era. They had seen my relevant work on the internet and thought that they should present the heroes with realistic armor.
Oh man! Oh God! Oh man! Oh God! Oh man!
Unfortunately, there was no follow-up in communication. Don't worry, Caciquis, I've been there and I've done that on a much more smaller, less grander scale than you, sir. The result is that once again, low-fidelity armor from a wardrobe that refers to the classical period is used. A unique opportunity for historical realism was lost. And you know why, Caciquis? Because Christopher Nolan and crew don't care about what you do. They just care about making bucks at the box office, and people will consume products because they know that this could be a very good film, despite, again, being another travesty in Hollywood where they take something, pretend to know about it, and then in turn just destroy it with artistic license. And I'm beginning to wonder why they would have done that. Caciquis, maybe you made a political comment or two on social media, or maybe somebody has seen one of your videos and thought, oh, that guy's problematic, we can't use his stuff. I'm just spitballing here, guys. I actually have no clue why. I mean, if you're approaching somebody like that, and I'm pretty sure money wasn't even the focal point, again, because if you look at the costumes or the outfits that he designed on his website, period accurate, by the way, then it's all very bright and colourful, as Metatron said in his videos. It's not this dull down or blackish armour that we have made out of leather in some cases. I mean, you might think, looking at the actual trailer again, that you were watching a spoof on Star Wars but set in Roman times or Greek times, because it's got that era about it, hasn't it? It's just very bizarre. Like, yeah, they call this guy Black Darth Vader right here because I guess he could be, which is hilarious. And something that it always grates me about movie castings for historically accurate movies is that you never cast people that are historically accurate to the piece. I mean, look who we have here. I mean, these are generally people that I do like on a almost regular basis. Matt Damon, we know it's good. Tom Holland, that's Telemachus, which again, if you've ever watched Ulysses 31, which is like one of the all-time greatest French collaboration anime cartoons from 1981, watch that, because that really breaks down Greek mythology in such a unique way. Like, if you want to update the mythology without making it sound boring, that's a really good example of that. Not for a modern audience, just to update it. Robert Pattinson's in it. Lupita Nyong'o, again, as Metatron has pointed out, well, who is she going to play here? Zendaya is Athena. I don't have to even blow anything up here. You can even see that the usual artistic depictions show her to be of very fair skin, i.e. Caucasian, or maybe olive-skinned, if you want to call it that. Mixed race Zendaya, or Zendaya, however you want to pronounce her name, is your ideal choice, which again, look, I don't think she's a terrible actress, but she's not like Oscar worthy material. Mind you, to be honest, I wouldn't even have seen her as Catwoman. Look, she was okay in Spider-Man Homecoming. Far From Home, she was actually a bit more enjoyable in her banter with Tom Holland is actually great, and I think by that time you knew those two were dating anyway. So Mia Goth is Melantho, don't know who that is. Ryan Hurst from Sons of Anarchy is in it. James Remar, John Bernthal, and then we got guys from Jovan Adepo, was he a slave? Bill Irwin, and then, you know, the list, John Leguizamo, a Colombian in Greek times. That makes so much sense. But again, you know, I've always said this miles and miles before, when you're making a movie like this, why don't you source out the actual country's acting talent? And as a case in point, let's have a look at this. So if you just look for Greek actresses, which I'm going to look hopefully around here. So you got Greek actors, male Greek actors, okay? Now, none of these guys I've ever heard of. Sakis Rouvas, he's a recording artist, but he's a good-looking fella. Alexis Georgoulis, Anthemos, which is a pretty good name. And look, if you scroll, he's kind of like the Greek version of Val Kilmer, Costa Summer. So these guys potentially could have been in the movie. I haven't seen any video footage of them, so I don't know if English is their second language of sorts, but there must be up-and-coming actors out there that you could have chosen for this. And right here, well, obviously I feel at home, your Greek actresses from 2021. So any of these lovely ladies could have been. I do like this girl right here. I really like her. If her picture comes up, she's really hot. So I mean, she is miles better than the very haggard Anne Hathaway, and I would see her as Penelope to Matt Damon's Odysseus easily, but we don't get that, do we? So again, I understand, you know, you want to put bums in seats, people want to go and see an historical, over-bloated, over-budgeted cosplay drama with lots of your favorite actors in roles you would never normally associate with them with, and that's what you have. I mean, John Bernthal, again, great dude, but I just can't buy him or Tom Holland or Robert Pattinson being in a Greek mythology. And yet, you know what? I'm probably stumbling and bumbling in this post today, which is fine, you know, but we all saw Troy and Eric Bana and Brad Pitt. That was actually a good film from the guy that made Das Boot in Air Force One. So again, that was enjoyable, but from what people have told me and from what I've seen online, there's lots of various historical inaccuracies. Ellen Page, we're not going to call him Elliot because it's a girl cosplaying as a dude. Some people have speculated that she will be playing the Cyclops in the movie, which kind of makes sense. Again, if they're not named, again, they're probably not named because we don't know, we don't have confirmation who they're playing. But yeah, there is a Cyclops in this film, in a grounded Christopher Nolan movie, so they're going to go face to face with that. And Ellen Page, I reckon, could be the likeness mode capture for this particular rendition. But honestly, going through this trailer today and reading what everybody has said, and the fact that Christopher Nolan has gone on the cheap to make this movie, it's a really big, huge disappointment when I think about it. I don't even know what this movie is rumored to cost at the moment. I mean, typically Nolan doesn't go over budget, and I've never seen him ever exceed a budget. Maybe, the estimated budget is 250 million, which is still a lot, actually. It is. I mean, if this film was like 100 million, I wouldn't be too concerned. But the fact that they ignore that guy's suggestions on how to formulate the armor for your protagonists in this film, and he went, no, we'll just do our own, we'll 3D print our own. But thank you, Caciques, we appreciate you that you responded to our email, but now we're just going to fire back at you. And I believe his story, by the way. I believe, because look, if he's got such a high profile on the net, and obviously getting the eye of other people like Christopher Nolan's so-called head costume designer, and they went along with this monstrosity right here, well, that's all I have to say, folks. And on that one, if I were you and if you were me, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to watch some Ulysses 31. I'll catching me for the return of the next video.